and welcome to People's Voice on VOP Television, where we amplify the concerns, stories, perspectives, and the voices of the Nigerian people. My name is Adefunke Jaisimi, and today on the show, we are diving into some of the most pressing issues affecting Nigerians. So let's start with education. The federal government's decision to set 16 as the minimum age for entry into tertiary institutions has sparked a heated debate. Proponents argue that this move will curb the influx of underage students and ensure that young people are emotionally and psychologically prepared for the rigors of higher education. On the other hand, some critics claim that this will deny talented and gifted students the opportunity to pursue their dreams early enough and potentially lead to a surge in out-of-school children. Meanwhile, the Academic Staff Union of Universities, Asuu, has ordered its members to begin a nationwide strike over delays in salary payment and other unresolved issues. The strike is expected to disrupt academic activities across the country, leaving students and parents worried about the future of education in Nigeria, or maybe we are going back to where we thought we already, we are going back to the situation where we thought we already done with talk about the Asuu strike that we used to experience in the country, and what will this administration do differently to ensure that this doesn't happen again. What does this mean for the future of education in Nigeria? We'll be exploring the implications and reactions from stakeholders. But in the world of politics, tensions are running high. Labour Party chieftain Abayomi Arabambi has revealed that Peter Obi will soon face expulsion from the party due to alleged anti-party activities. According to Arabambi, Obi's actions, including his recent criticism of the party's leadership and his refusal to work with the party's national chairman, Julius Abure, constitute a clear breach of the party's constitution and code of conduct. But what does this mean for Obi's political future? Is it about desperation now, or about a genuine interest to look at every opportunity that will help Nigeria get out of the situation which he has described as terrible for Nigerian people? And on the part of Labour Party, what is their prospect in the 2027 elections? Meanwhile, speculations have been about the most viable candidate to fly the presidential ticket of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Some Obi supporters have been vocal about their candidate's potential, saying it's Obi or nothing, while some of them are singing anyone but Tinubu. We just want anybody to represent the ADC and, of course, unseat Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027. But the former presidential aspirant and media personality Chief Dele Momodu has thrown his weight behind Atiku Abubakar for the ADC ticket. Dele Momodu believes that Abubakar's experience and popularity will make him the best fit to challenge President Bola Tinubu in 2027. But will Obi supporters rally behind Abubakar, or will they stick with their candidate? Will there be a consensus? And what are the potential implications of this concession? Because every candidate in the African Democratic Congress are top contenders on the part of their supporters, and it feels like a tough decision to take. But for the coalition itself, the ADC has also found itself in a precarious situation with a brewing legal battle over the legitimacy of its new leadership. Before absorbing the coalition, the party's leadership structure was already a subject of controversy, but unknown to the public because of its level of popularity at the time. But now, with the merger, new challenges have emerged and it's becoming more visible. The party's leadership is facing opposition from within its own members, who claim that the current leadership is not legitimate. But in a confusing development, the ADC has accused the federal government, led by Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, of orchestrating the destabilization of the opposition coalition ahead of the 2027 polls, which implies that people left their political parties because of the allegation that there were interference by the APC-led government, only to form a coalition being destabilized by the same government. Funny, if you ask me, but we are here for all of that. What does this mean for the future of the party and the prospect of its presidential candidate? As we explore these stories and more today, we would like to hear from you. We want to know which of the stories made it for you and your thoughts on the situation in the country. So what do you think about the government decisions on tertiary education in Nigeria? Do you support Peter Obi or Atiku Abubakar in 2027 presidential race? Join the conversation, call us or text us, share your thoughts with us on 090-447-32605. The number to call again via WhatsApp is 090-447-32605. You can follow us on social media at VOPTV Live, and you can use the hashtag People's Voice on VOPTV. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. Kindly hit the subscribe button, and together we can make our voices heard. That's all for the news right now. We'll be right back after this break. Please stay tuned. Many thanks for staying with People's Voice on VOP Television, and we are diving back into the complex world of Nigeria's education sector, where new policies and old problems are shaping the future of our nation and the young ones in particular. Today on Shaping the Mindset, New Admission Age, Old Problems and the Way Forward, we will be exploring the latest developments that are stirring up conversations across the country. The federal government has officially set 16 as the minimum age for admission into tertiary institutions, a move that's sparking mixed reaction from stakeholders. The Minister of Education, Dr. Tinubu'S Alausa, emphasized that this decision aims to align students' cognitive development with the academic demand of higher education, and that 16 is the non-negotiable minimum age for admission. But that's not all. The Academic Staff Union of University, Asuu, has just ordered its members to begin a nationwide strike over unresolved issues, including delays in salary payment. This industrial action is expected to disrupt academic activities across the country, leaving students and parents worried about the future of education in Nigeria. So, as we navigate these challenges on the show today, we are also looking at the government's warning that admission outside the central admission processing system CAPS will be deemed illegal and perpetrators will face prosecution. Heads of institutions found engaging in academic admission fraud will also be prosecuted. So, what's the way forward? Can Nigeria's education sector overcome these challenges, embrace the new reforms, and ensure to provide quality education for all? These are questions begging for answers, but it's never a one-man show on People's Voice. Joining me now is Mr. Ibrahim Fatoyinbo, a university lecturer and communication consultant with expertise in education policy and development. Good afternoon and welcome to People's Voice, Ibrahim.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
All right, let's dive into the topic of shaping the mindset, the new admission age, old problems, and the way forward. What are your thoughts on the federal government's decision to set 16 as the minimum age for admission into tertiary institutions? Do you think that this policy will achieve its intended goals?
It is a very complex question, because if you ask me, as a last week, this was a conversation that I was still having at a radio station. Now let's look at it. I won't use my own self or use my own generation, but I can tell you for a fact that there is a need for level of maturity before going into university. That's a fact, in my opinion.
Okay.
So what do I mean by that? Yes, we have seen a whole lot of students, even in 100 level, and we see the way they have always performed. Research has shown that there are challenges of people joining cults or sexual harassment and all sorts of things in tertiary institutions, because a lot of them are not mature enough. Growing up, or even while in institution, I've never seen or heard anybody saying that they are depressed. These young children getting admission into university through their double promotion, they can't really withstand the heat to some extent. I'm going to balance this conversation, but I'm just giving you my own personal opinion. But realistically, and what statistics has been showing, we'll also look at that. But in my opinion, 16 to me, I think, if it's still 17, 18, or 18, they should just leave it at 18. I believe that it's better, it's good enough. But there's another worldview that says that it is not about the age, that it's about maturity is not about the age.
Right.
Right? Okay.
Okay, thank you
You want
very
to
much
say?
for that response. But some are saying that students gain admission as young as 14, 15, and the government has said 16. But you are saying that 16 is even young and maybe not the best in your opinion. But for the sake of this policy, do you think it will be able to achieve its goals?
Well, I will tell you frankly, maybe 50-50, honestly. Because I encounter them. These are people I meet every day, and I see how they manage situation and how everything is very overwhelming to them. Some of them they find it very hard to even stay alone. So there's a lot of processes. However, in all honesty, however, with the situation of the country, if the university is able to work on its curriculum to prepare them adequately to have a good counseling unit, because a lot of them, I'm telling you for a fact, I talk to them every day, they are always having challenges. They find it very hard to say that they want to solve this problem. With a twinkle of an eye, you hear that they are depressed, they are going through a lot, they are having suicidal thinking. So that's why I just feel like coming to university at the age of 14, 15, even 16, let's just balance, let's say 17, is fair. 17, let's negotiate 17. But reality, will it be able to achieve its purpose? I can't tell you for a fact that it's going to achieve its purpose.
Okay. Critics argue that this new admission age policy may unfairly exclude academically gifted students who are under 16. Do you see any possibility of the government trying to balance the need for students to be emotionally and psychologically prepared for tertiary education with the need to identify and nurture talents regardless of their age?
let me let me say this. It is very important. Not you see, it's just we the government needs to sit very tight on creating policies that will bring about development to the people. What do I mean by that? See, what's the rush for? Where are you rushing to? Now, if by adventure you finish your primary, your secondary school education 14 or 15 years, who says you can't go and use 1 year to learn a technical skill or something that can help you improve before even coming into the university?
Okay.
So I just believe that yes, if there is a year that is there that you can just use in preparing them, let them learn a skill. And that is why university to curriculum today, that's why they are introducing, they can learn tailoring, they can learn art and craft, catering. So if you can say within a year that you can wait, maybe before you clock 17, 18, but now 16. But if you are still 14 or 15, you can still wait for a year to say, okay, you want to learn something, and it's going to help them, it's going to expose them. But somebody that is just leaving secondary school and they are going into university, I'm telling you, it's a whole lot of challenge. I meet with them every day. It's a whole lot of challenge.
So from your experience, you would rather
Yeah.
these children are allowed to learn craft immediately after secondary school for those that have very
Yes.
fast education.
Okay, let me add to that. I
Okay.
know I was invigilating one day and a student was calling me to assist her with how to operate a computer. So if you have prepared them, maybe within a year they have learned a skill or there are certain things that they can learn. Even when coming, they will be more productive. They will have a sense of responsibility. A lot of them are just playing. They are easily lured, friends. And that I emphasize on cultism, on cults.
Yeah.
You see them; they are not mature enough. Little things they can just use to persuade them. So they need this maturity. Maybe the secondary school now should do more in preparing them for the university, because yes, it's now a policy they are 16 and
Okay.
they can come into the university.
Okay.
Maybe the secondary school should review certain policies to be able to prepare, because they are creating a lot of problem for university lecturers.
All
This is
right.
a fact.
All right. On behalf of parents, we apologize to university lecturers. But let's talk about the integrity of the admission process now. Admission fraud and irregularities have been a persistent problem in Nigeria's education sector, and this is becoming norm. What role do you think that institutions and regulatory bodies like JAM and NUC can play in preventing such practices and ensuring the integrity of the admission process?
Well, I will start by is the same overzealous parents. I can you can go and fact check if there is any statistics. Percentage of candidates coming into the university don't register themselves. Some of them, it is the business center's email address that they will put when JAM is sending certain information to them. They don't know anything. They will just leave it. Today, okay, don't let me digress. We see parents bringing their children to come and do university registration. Oh. So now, because of the overzealousness, they want their words to just get that into that university by fire, by force. They will fall into the hands of people who will dupe them. JAM have set cap and the admission process that you must follow from JAM. And from there, if you have chosen an institution, there is a cutoff mark that is required. However, higher institution, university don't just get students like that. NUC has what we call a quota system, whereby we have 60% for science and 40% for arts. All right? So after their post-UTME, even if it's 12,000 students that applied into the university, NUC has given university, maybe you are for that university, they can say you can only admit 5,000 for that year, and we have 12,000 that applied.
Okay.
There is stampede. People are agitated. They want to get into university, so they are going to fall in the hands of people that will dupe them.
So what can be done?
What can be done is
regulatory bodies.
And they should, for example, now, like I said, JAM, they will always tell them that check your portal if you have been given a provisional admission. It's clear. After your post-UTME, after screening, if you have been given admission, it's going to reflect on your portal that you have been given a provisional admission in so university.
Without having to go to the university, without having to travel.
Yes.
Oh.
Just check your online. You will see if you check your portal from there, you can now come to the institution, you will see the merit list.
Okay.
Because there are stages to even admission process, but we won't go into there. But the fraud is overzealousness. All right. Yes, there are some people within the institution too that they can tell them that, okay, bring money, we are going to do. But this thing is clear. It's no rocket science. It must show on your JAM portal, because if you don't have it, you can't go for NYSC. Oh. It is required for your clearance.
Oh, so that's why some people who have fake admission would only discover when they are trying to clear towards graduation.
Simple.
Okay.
That's it.
Before, I mean, we're going to have this conversation another day so we can understand what the process is supposed to be like and what is expected of an average child seeking university admission. But looking ahead, what do you think is the way forward for Nigeria's education sector? What reforms or initiatives would you recommend to address the old problems and the challenges that have been plaguing the system so far?
So I'll start like this, that let's get the right people to do the job when it comes to this teaching, right from primary school, secondary school to the university. From primary school, it is very important that the quality is really evaluated and checked, not people that is because they don't have any choice that they just took up a teaching job.
Right.
So from there, they can just do anything. Coming to the secondary school too, it is very important to work on the curriculum, and teachers are very important. Retraining and training of teachers is very important. But education starts from the primary, and that's why I'm taking it like that. Above all, for the university, it is very important we watch out for funding and infrastructure. And it is very important that lecturers, teachers are well motivated. Right. It goes a long way. A lot of people are demotivated because of what is happening. But if you see Lagos State, they are encouraging secondary school teachers best teacher of particular district, giving them cars.
Right.
So we need more of NGOs, government, because government alone can't solve this problem. It's a collaborative effort to bring success to educational system in Nigeria. And coming back to parents should not be too, like, they should not be in haste to always say they want to push their word. Let them go through that process. It goes a long way. Doing your common entrance in primary 4 and they pass and you just want to move them. All those things, these stages of development are very important. So it is very important because all of us, we are in this together.
Right.
Parents, lecturers, and government. It is important government put policies like funding the educational system properly.
Okay, speaking
In your,
about motivation now, you've talked about motivation, funding, infrastructure, and support. And I like the fact that you mentioned that this is not solely the responsibility of the government. Organizations can also come to encourage, students when you do well in your academics. But there's something about academic staff, and I want us to talk about it. The Asuu strike has brought attention to the plight of university lecturers and the challenges facing the education sector. We thought this was over until we saw the breaking news where it was reported that Asuu has called on all university lecturers to go on strike till further notice. But yeah, the issue was around delay in June salary payment and also a backlog of a 10 billion naira. Can you make us understand what is happening and what do you think are the underlying issues that need to be addressed to prevent such strikes in the future?
well, I will always, major issue I'm always facing is government. And I don't like when everything gets to strike before the government is proactive to attend to their responsibility. And that's why ministers, commissioners, all these people, it is important to always engage with the critical stakeholders. I am very sure that ASU would have been engaging with the federal government since, and they are not getting response from the federal government, and which is very, very wrong. And if you look at this institution, and I don't know how we really think in this country. If lecturers are not discharging their duty with love and happiness, what kind of graduates do you think will be chunking out? And now we are talking about the human capital of Nigeria. There is another way to start bringing money to the or to develop the economy, where the government is not seeing the need to improve the education. The money or anything ASU is asking is not for their own family affairs. This is what they have worked for,
Right.
and they are asking. It's not not too big to ask.
Right.
So professors, how much are professors earning? And these are people that has impacted, they have made all these people making policies. They made them. So what's so big for you to look into tertiary institution and make lecturers? And now they will be complaining that lecturers, doctors are leaving the shores of this country. Education should be taken very, very serious. So
All right.
major is inadequate funding of the university. ASU
Okay.
has been shouting about this particular thing. There are a lot of backlog of what's it called, allowances
Right.
that they are owing. We have issue of condition of service. Go and check certain offices of some lecturers. Go and see the condition of some lecturers, how they are living. Lecturers don't even have maybe a quarters to say they want to stay, and you are saying Nigeria is going, when lecturers can't make research because we can't do researches.
All right,
because
Mr. Fatoyinbo. All right, it's a lot to unpack really, but in about 30 seconds, what's the way forward?
Generally, from the first topic, I will say that the government to endeavor to fund appropriately the institution, and also management of university too should also try to motivate the staff, because they are internally generated funds from university, which can also help to motivate staff.
All right.
Also, universities too, we can't just wait. We should look out for private organizations and philanthropists should also invest
All
in
right.
university. Give scholarships to encourage students, and let's improve the condition of service of lecturers because they are the one molding the future of this nation.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Ibrahim Fatoyibo. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts and breaking down the details of these issues. I mean, these are the matters arising affecting Nigerian people. Thank you so much. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, it's time for a quick break now. When we return, we would be discussing the latest developments in Nigeria's political landscape. Please stay tuned. Glad to have you stay with the People's Voice on VOP television today, and we continue to discuss the latest development in Nigeria's political landscape. A legal battle is brewing over the legitimacy of the new African Democratic Congress ADC leadership. Some aggrieved members have dragged the party's new leadership before a federal high court in Abuja seeking to nullify the party's executive committee. The plaintiffs, Adeyemi Emmanuel, Ayodeji Victor Tolu, and Aruna Ismaila are challenging the appointments of Senator David Mark and Rauf Aregbesola as interim national chairman and national secretary. They claim that the appointments were made in breach of the party's constitution. But the ADC has hit back, accusing the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration of orchestrating a plot to destabilize the party. The party's interim national publicity secretary, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, claims that the presidency is attempting to derail the coalition's momentum through subterfuge and intimidation. According to Abdullahi, the administration is summoning state chairmen and key members for a secret meeting to coerce them into working against the opposition coalition. He also said that the ADC believes that Tinubu's administration is in a panic mode due to the rising momentum of the opposition coalition. He said the party has called on the president to take note of the alleged sinister moves by some of his appointees and call them to order. The ADC has also vowed to resist any attempts to turn Nigeria into a one-party dictatorship, emphasizing its commitment to multi-party democracy. Well, it's funny where we are currently now. Talk about politics in the nation, accusation upon accusation, but really, if this is something that continues to happen, we need to begin to question what our values are as individuals first before we even talk about how much value we can add to whatever political party we find ourselves. Because if the same accusation is coming across different political parties, that house people, humans, not any other species, then we have a people problem in our country. But we'll continue to follow up this story and bring you more updates as more information becomes available. But I'm now being joined by Mr. Dele Fanimo, VOP TV, in our senior analyst. We'll be talking about this recent development. Good afternoon, Mr. Fanimo.
Good afternoon.
Well, I'm sure you got the introduction, even though it sounds funny, but it's a serious conversation. What are your thoughts on the ADC's accusation that President Tinubu-led administration is orchestrating a plot to destabilize the new party, or maybe the revamped party?
Sometimes when you experience certain things in some quarters that is not expected, you just look at them and just wave it off like nothing ever happened. Only last week I said this, so it's not new to me. I think they were going to this. But APC was not even smart. If I were to be APC, I would just tell those guys, if truly APC was meddling in the affairs of ADC, just tell them, no, it's not yet time. Wait until a month to the election and then file your suit. Then anybody that David Mark and his cohorts had approved their forms is null and void. You know what happened in Zamfara? Just a stroke of pen dismissed the whole governor, senators, House of Rep members, and even House of Assembly members. Those who had lost election, they were sulking in their different homes, just suddenly heard court judgment that they are now back. All of them are enjoying 4-year term.
So for you,
Nwosu that handed over the flag of this party.
Raful Mosu.
Yes, he had completed his term.
Right.
And when he wanted to overshoot his time, they sacked him. They dismissed him from the party.
Those were part of the issues that Kachuku, their former presidential candidate, raised. But here on the show, I think the Dr. Adeske was saying that it was about him being afraid of the big boys in the party. And I said, these are concerns that should have been looked into.
Now, is it? I said it. The only reason why they picked ADC is because ADC will come before APC in the ballots.
You said it on this show.
They were blinded by the fact that, okay, if they pick ZLP, they will be at the bottom of the ballot paper. If they pick LP, they will be at the middle. But the only party that is ahead of ADC in the line of the 18 registered parties is only AAC, owned by Sowore. And Sowore is not going to allow them to take over his party. So the next plausible political party that they need that will be ahead of APC is ADC. But they didn't do their due diligence.
I was going to come to that because
and now you are blaming APC, another party, for not doing the right thing at the right time. How is it the problem of APC or PDP that you went to a place without testing waters? Most times sharks don't surface on the high sea. It's only when they see red blood that they bay an attack. Even crocodiles, when they want to attack an animal drinking at the shore of the bank of the river, they lie low until when they come and then they strike, drag the animal into the pool. So technically, how can ADC, with all these people that have been in politics for God knows when, David Mark had been in politics since the 90s. He had been in governance.
He has been in power because from military to
former governor of his state, former communication minister, and then senator,
Senate president.
Until he became Senate president twice, and then you are rushing. You see, when you fight with your two eyes closed, this is the kind of thing you get.
So you think it's not about APC, but do you think that this legal battle over the legitimacy of the ADC leadership will have implications for the party's stability and effectiveness?
They will go and look for another party.
So you think it will affect the stability of the party and how effective it can be?
Except these people agree.
Those that took them to court?
Yes, except they will agree and withdraw this case.
So do you see opposition taking advantage of these people that took them to court and start having some sort of romance with them?
If you are the one, what will you do?
I don't play politics.
Somebody wants to attack you and suddenly it's ensnared. So you go and remove that snare so that they can attack you. That's what is going to happen. They brought themselves into this. Look, I wish they could just play back this intervention that I did not quite 2 weeks ago here.
It was last week. Was
it last week?
Yeah, it was last week.
It was with you now. Mm-hmm. When I was wearing this Malam cap.
Because you were saying that it was about the name of the party and nothing more. And I was like, no, you can't discard them like that. There should be more to why they chose the party.
But so now, didn't I tell you?
It's too early for that.
Didn't I tell you last week here that these people, they didn't look at anything. They just jump into the fray just because they won that political party. How can you come
but they
into my house
with a Ralph
Nwosu? So litigation against Ralph Nwosu was done in a kitchen and not in an open court. If they had consulted those they met there, they just felt, okay, since this party is in ICU, all they needed to do is to just give adrenaline
and buy from Labata
and then grab it. And this is the result you are getting.
But I mean,
is it not too late in the day? And now
it's not too late because a lot of people are actually looking into the party. We have defections from different political party into this party. So I feel like this instability might be corrected with time. But what we are not certain about is how effective the party will be able to function with all of this.
This was the same way they went to SDP. SDP said, our party is not for sale.
Right.
They ran out of the place. Now, this is the second one. And they are not likely to have respite.
No, I don't want us to conclude on this table.
I said they are not likely. I didn't say they will not.
Okay, Mr. Fanimo, let's take this call. We have a call. Good afternoon and welcome to People's Voice.
This is Aini on the line calling from Lagos.
Okay, please go ahead.
Please, I want to first of all thank your TV station. You guys are doing a very wonderful job. Now, let's go back to ADC. Okay. ADC. I was looking at ADC. I still feel that this is just a hullabaloo because I believe the people on top that plays politics wants to use ADC to crush other opposition parties. That is the PDP and other, the only thing they call themselves as party. Crush them. And if you watch, all other parties, both PDP, Labour Party, all of them have gone under. Now only ADC. And I tell you, the same power that plays politics in Nigeria has still, I believe, has planted a mold that, believe me, this ADC we are looking now will crush, will die a premature death before the election. And that will make the ruling party, it will be like a walk in the park for victory for the 2007 election. Mark my word, this ADC everybody is crying about, hullabaloo, will not be at peace to witness 2027 election. Mark my word, write it down.
Okay,
so I believe it's...
If I can ask you another question. Okay. So if this is the situation now, who are we to blame? Because the party keeps blaming the ruling party.
No, the thing is that I don't want our president plays a different kind of politics. I've since my analysis in politics, I've never seen a man like Tinubu before. He plays it in a very in a different level. Because he has to, if we can cripple other opposition parties, then there will not be any contest at all for the election. And mark my word, this ADC that we are looking at crying hullabaloo, let's see how they will end how they will coordinate themselves in 2027 election. Because if you watch PDP, Labour Party, all of them, all of the three, they have all gone under. Only one now remaining, the so-called ADC, which the man above, I believe, will crush before the 2027 election, making the election a walk in the park for him.
All right.
Mark my word for it. Mark my word for it.
Thank you very much. We are going to mark your word and take note of today's date, 8th July 2025. Thank you so much for calling on the show. Let me come back to you, Mr. Farimon. You heard my caller now. But how do you think that the ADC can navigate these challenges and maintain its momentum as a credible opposition party?
It's a very dicey question that I may not give straight answer. Why I will not give straight answer is the power to unlock or to lock down lies in the hands of the owners of this party before these people came to hijack it from them.
The members of the party.
The members of the party. They are the owners. After all, they made them there. They had their ESCO in place. The first person that gave this hint was, I think, the PRO of this party.
Yeah, I had this conversation.
It was like a whimper. Nobody took notice of it.
Yeah, I spoke about it, I think, last week, Thursday, where Doctor was on this show. And all he said was, they are just angry people. They are just members. Okay. That the leadership of the party has a way of sorting themselves with the new people that came into the party. But it's important that Nigeria has an alternative alignment ahead of 2027.
You see, I would have wanted a fantastic opposition that would give this man a run for his money.
So are you giving up already?
But look at the way they have been migrating like a nomad. Without doing due diligence. And when they fail, they hold it on to Tinubu. The Tinubu lead them blindfolded to go and take over an existing party with structure without even knocking at the door to register their presence. You can't come to my house. I just scale the gate and take over my house. Even if I'm powerless, I will seek redress.
And fight back.
And fight back. And that's what they are doing.
Do you think they need attention or they need to be settled?
Even if it's settlement, the price they will pay now will be times 100 of what they would have paid to settle them. Because the stakes are high.
Right now.
And the aces are in the hands of these people.
Right.
They are stranded. You can't contest it now. All they need to do is the resolution that ousted Asuu. So Asuu had no local standard to even hand over the party to new people.
At the time he did.
At the time he did. And so it's just like if you live in a house for 150 years, if the owner of the land wins in court that this is my land, you only take your property away from the land. And if you don't take it, it will help you take it by destroying it and bringing it down. Mr.
Fanimo, in this situation, they've accused the leadership of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as in the All Progressives Congress, and they said that his appointees and ministers are working behind the scenes to ensure that they crumble opposition in Nigeria. And some are beginning to accuse the president of maybe working towards a one-party dictatorship. What role do you think that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can play in ensuring stability and growth of opposition parties in Nigeria? Or do you think it is not his responsibility?
There is no way a one-party state would endure in this country. Let us agree on that. 2, look at the leading lights of this ADC. They were the ones that chased Jonathan out of government.
Right.
The same tactics they use in chasing Jonathan out of government is what they now want to use against APC now. Forgetting that APC would have gone a notch higher than those plans orchestrated at that time. You recall when US had issues with Iraq, the first time they went to that battle, they retreated. Right. And then Saddam Hussein was boasting, we have massed up 600,000 soldiers and this is going to be a mother of all battles. Mm-hmm. But when America came, they came with jet fighters that even they cannot pick in the radar. And it did extensive damage that in days, Iraq surrendered. So you think an astute politician of the caliber of a Tinubu will sit back and allow somebody who had been in the same camp with him, who understands him,
who brought the secret of PDP to
APC,
so they could unseat Jonathan,
for them to use against Jonathan, and now use that same style, and he will not go a notch higher to counter it.
But there are possibilities. These are people that are aggrieved. These are people that they've worked together, but like Peter Obi said in his interview, we said that even people that failed are necessary in the coalition because they will bring their experience of failure and ensure that it doesn't happen again.
Now, this is a game of wits. Whoever draws the first blood be the winner. Is that not? Now, the question is, a Tinubu will not sit back and not want to fight back, even if he's going to go under. But it will not be like Jonathan that surrendered. That he didn't do what he ought to do. But
Jonathan was even talking at the time where that coalition was formed. Tinubu is not even saying anything now.
He will not say anything now. There's a Yoruba saying that whatever name you give to your child stays with you until the point of naming that child. The culture in Yoruba is different from... The only similar culture is that of the North. A Yoruba man will not shout. He will be looking at you. He knows what he wants to do at the right time. And that's when he will strike.
Doesn't make us or make them cowards.
Doesn't make them a coward at all.
Fearful.
If I know you want to attack me, I will not say a word, but I will look at your weakness.
All right.
I will apply the SWOT analysis.
Thank you so much, Mr. Fanimo. That's all we can take on this show this afternoon. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Well, as we wrap up today's discussion on People's Voice, we've been able to cover some critical issues shaping Nigeria's landscape, from education to politics. It's clear that Nigeria is at a crossroad, and we must continue to hold our leaders accountable and make demands that will shape our future. To our viewers, thank you so much for joining People's Voice today. Until next time, stay informed and engaged. My name is Adefunke Jaisebi, and I strongly believe in this project, Nigeria. Nigeria will be great again. Good afternoon.